I lived locally till up to the age of 8. I lived in Robert Owen House in Fulham Palace Road. If anybody knows Robert Owen House, it's as you come up from Hammersmith towards Putney Bridge, it's on the right-hand side, very near Bishop's Park.
Oh, hello.
There you go.
Sorry.
Have I said tonight's secret word?
All right, then. Ready, studio. Good luck. Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Bill Bailey. In the news this week, Boris Johnson's advisers come up with a way of making sure he doesn't mix up the North, the Midlands, London and Scotland.
Coal, cars, cash and trees. Coal, cars, cash and trees.
With 2 minutes to spare, Lewis Hamilton remembers he hasn't bought a lottery ticket. And at the Universal Studios theme park, there's a mixed reaction to the new Alfred Hitchcock ride. On Paul's team tonight is an MP whose recent hashtags have included hashtag Johnson is a liar, hashtag Tory liars, hashtag Tory corruption, and hashtag tax the rich. Please welcome Tory MP... Oh, sorry. Labour MP, Dawn Butler. On Ian's team tonight is a sometimes controversial comedian who once said, I think you can make a joke about anything. Fair enough, as long as you're not saying anything too inflammatory, like claiming that the crested grebe is migratory. Please welcome Finn Taylor. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Paul and Dawn, take a look at this.
Yes. Climate change,
Lots of
clearly.
pollution.
Air pollution, you're absolutely right.
More pollution? From the one on the left?
Oh, hello. You're tall.
You're through to the Samaritans?
Oh, my God. Oh, my word. He's like, no, cut him off.
Now, the Queen has pulled out of hosting a reception for world leaders at the conference. What would she be doing instead?
Is she hosting the One Show?
Could well be.
I tell you who's done a lot to reduce their carbon footprint. Prince Andrew.
Yes.
He's
Well, 'cause
he's not left his house for months. Good on him.
Andrew's not going because the word cop is in the title. The Queen actually has been told to rest. But why is she so knackered?
95?
And apparently sources have told the press that she has been staying up late to watch TV.
What sort of sauce is that, though? Like...
Me, I probably said it, I don't know. I mean, she probably watched the extended version of this show, which goes out at, I think, 3:07 in the morning every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, the BBC have been really giving it a push.
They have.
They've been giving it a right look. There you go, see?
Contains some strong language and adult humour. Fuck me, I never knew that.
Is that Rue Paul Merton?
Yeah.
Now, you saw there was a couple of phone calls going on. Who had their first phone call with Boris Johnson this week after a year and a half?
Was it Putin?
Yes.
I was going to say his ex-wife, but, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also possible. Yeah.
It's the same as Putin asking where the money's gone.
Are you saying that Putin is his ex-wife?
There are a lot of them out there.
I mean, would Boris remember? That's the thing, isn't it?
You wouldn't forget that guy on the horse, topless.
That was it. He told the PM, Vladimir Putin that is, he told the PM he would not be attending the COP conference, blaming sky-high COVID rates in Russia. And on the call, the PM had warned Putin that the current relationship with Russia is not one we want. To which Putin apparently replied, whatever. Why is COP26 President Alok Sharma furious with Boris?
Because he leaves unnecessary pauses.
Let's have a look at this. Why is he furious? Look at that.
Because Boris stole the globe?
It gives an unfair representation of how big the Earth is.
That is true.
It doesn't glow. Oh, has he got his hands over the country that this guy represents?
That's right. Now, apparently, it's because, well, I mean, basically, the Prime Minister Boris has set these ridiculously high expectations of this conference.
Has he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Boris was very, very keen to explain how important it was. He said it was the most important summit this country has seen in our lifetime. But then he went on to say, I'm very worried because it might go wrong. We might not get the agreements that we need. It's touch and go. It's very, very difficult. Who has done their bit this week by pledging to be carbon neutral by 2060?
2060?
2060.
Oh, is that North Korea?
Well, you're in the right ballpark.
South Korea.
Saudis.
Yes.
Oh,
There you go. The Saudis have this week promised to cut their carbon emissions to net zero by 2060. And, you know, when those guys promise to cut something, they don't mess about. What? How did Boris Johnson embarrass himself in front of a group of schoolchildren last week?
Oh, wow.
He pointed out family resemblances between himself and the front row.
He said something about feeding humans to animals.
He told school kids he was sad to see the destruction of trees and green sites, joking, we could feed some of the human beings to the animals.
He's become quite extreme as a green, hasn't he?
Which TV legends are making a much heralded comeback for COP?
Bergerac. I'm often shouting out Bergerac, and quite often it's got nothing to do with what I've just been asked. There's another example.
You've got involuntary Bergerac.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have.
Bergerac!
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. They are TV legends, though, and it's not Bergerac, no.
And they're appearing at COP.
They're appearing at COP, yeah.
The 18?
They've got a recycling connection.
Well, sort of, they make good use of the things that they find.
Oh, the Wombles.
Yes!
The Womble.
The Wombles. Seriously, hadn't heard about this?
Do you know, I hadn't. I read quite a lot about COP26, but the bit about the Wombles just passed me by. I think it was all that stuff about targets and carbon dioxide. Why I missed Uncle Bulgaria's return. Is it Bulgaria?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh, right, he's probably outlawed now due to his extreme right-wing policy. Anyway, they're back, are they?
The Wombles are back.
Right, they're wombling over Glasgow, picking up litter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a government-backed social media campaign to show Brits how they can save the planet. As you say, they couldn't tempt Uncle Bulgaria back. He's earning a fortune as an HGV driver. But... Now, these are CGI Wombles.
Oh, not sure about that.
So, can we see them? No.
Imagine the Womble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then imagine it CGI'd. There you go.
OK, I've done it.
That's it, right. There we go, let's have a look at that.
There's more than I remember.
Yeah, but
They breed like Wombles.
in other environment news, who has made a not-so-welcome return this week?
Insulate Britain.
Yes.
Insulate Britain.
Insulate Britain.
Well, they didn't go away, did they?
They've been gluing more things to the road this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Somebody glued their face
Somebody glued their face to the
to the
road.
road. That's right.
Things have reached the heads glued to road stage of the climate crisis.
For me, they had this morning, yes.
I'm concerned about your head.
Yes, so am I.
You're not going to snip yourself, are you?
Hopefully not. You'll find out if there's blood coming out.
Brings a new meaning to the phrase keeping your ear to the ground.
I mean, of all the silly things to do.
Oh, that was a very careful silly. Oh, you can spot a sitting MP, can't you? It's quite brave, though, isn't it? I mean, I know
Brave?
it's silly, but he stuck his face to the
He
road.
stuck his face to the
I mean,
ground.
a hand.
And it could just come off, and it could just be a face on the road.
Face off.
Or a road on his face, and every time he laid down, somebody tried to park on him.
OK, that's a happier outcome.
He had his aspirin inhaler, though. He'd glued his hand to and the aspirin inhaler is just out of...
Just out of reach.
Just kick it over, mate. Just kick it over a bit. Put it in my mouth. Now, of course, there's some anti-Insulate Britain protesters, and they've been using lots of interesting tactics to try and stop the campaigners this week. What do you think was the most brutal thing they tried?
Somebody started playing bagpipes, didn't they?
That's right, yeah. What could be harsher than that? Somebody tries to move them by playing the bagpipes in their face.
And if that worked as a political tactic, the English would have left Scotland centuries ago.
Now, how did talk radio host Mike Graham embarrass himself in an interview with an Insulate Britain protester?
Concrete can grow?
It was extraordinary. Look at this.
Morning, Mike.
Oh, hello. What are you glued to, Cameron?
Just your screen, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. What do you do for a living,
Well,
Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with
retrofit-
trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can. See you, Cameron. Cheerio.
I love the way he just pretends to freeze.
Yeah. He went on
Yeah.
and he got an interview the next day and doubled down on the whole
He
thing.
did.
This is him with Jeremy Carr.
Yeah.
So they're all going, he's so stupid, he doesn't know that concrete doesn't grow. I mean, do they really think that? They actually think
It expands.
Well, if you have ever seen somebody making concrete in a concrete mixer,
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've ever watched anybody doing that.
Yeah,
but
it's
you basically
exciting,
put,
isn't it?
you know, sand in, put water in,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
cement goes in,
Yeah.
you know, you make concrete, it expands, it grows.
Yeah.
Fair enough, right?
Yeah.
I've not heard of this station before.
It's for people who find LBC a bit too soft. Real hardcore stuff.
I see as a punishment for his former broadcasting career, they've made Jeremy Kyle sit on a ledge in the middle of central London.
Like a pigeon.
Yeah.
Carpenter, eh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Trees, oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a useless job, Jesus.
Yeah. I know. What are you, paramedic? Oh, paramedic, are you?
Yeah.
What, bringing people back to life so they can breathe more air? Talking about daft things that people say based on no facts, I'm coming to you, Dawn.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Now then, in October 2019, Dawn Butler, you said, let's just accept people for who they are and live as our true, authentic selves. Nothing wrong with that. I get behind that. It's a totally an honourable, noble thing to say.
I remember
But
this.
then you said 90% of giraffes are gay.
It's actually true.
Hold on.
This is the Mike Graham technique. Just double down.
Yeah, double down.
They're all gay.
This isn't a talk radio truth. I mean, I read it. But it is a known fact. But the argument was then that people
Well,
say...
I read it, it's a known fact.
No, let me finish. They're not gay, they're predatory, and so they have a lot of gay sex, but they're not gay.
Hold on. No, but I mean, I don't know a lot about giraffes, you know. But what I do know is that they move in, you know, the females move in a group, don't they, roam around. And the males, they don't come across them at all. And occasionally the male will be allowed in to, you know, put a bit of, you know, when you get caught between the moon and New York City. And, you know, I know it's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
And do a lot of the male giraffes,
And the male giraffes then take no part.
do they have sex with
They have sex with lots of women, and then they take no
Women?
part in the upbringing.
Giraffes having sex with women?
No, female giraffes.
Stop going to safari parks.
Women
If you
giraffes.
do go, don't take a stepladder.
God's sake. Women
This is a
giraffes, not
scandal.
actual women. Well, All this giraffe-based nonsense is the fact that, yes, this is the build-up to COP26.
Which has got nothing to do with giraffe.
Don't need this. I've got grade 6 clarinet. I don't need to do this. Right. I can do the cha-cha. I can do anything. Now, so, this... all this giraffe-based nonsense. No, this is the build-up to COP26. Last week, the Queen stayed overnight at the King Edward VII Hospital, or as she prefers to call it, Great-Grandpapa's Paulie Palace. Boris Johnson has used both Kermit and the Wombles to promote his green agenda. Asked if he had no other frames of reference apart from old children's TV characters, the Prime Minister said... Ahead of the climate change summit, Boris Johnson held a press conference to children, where the most common question they asked was, what will COP26 achieve? Closely followed by, are you my daddy? Ian and Finn, have a look at this.
This is the allowance for Boris's 9th kid.
This is the budget. He's undoing his jacket. That's a metaphor. There they are.
Absolute lads.
Get in.
Stag do. Oh.
He's not going through the revolving door just yet. It's the budget, which, again, I mean, is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, you must be really tough, Dawn. I mean, because, you know, that's a Corbynite budget we've just had. It's the biggest giveaway, the biggest tax and spend since the 1950s. I mean, how do you oppose it? What do you say?
We could have sorted out sort of VAT on fuel. People are going to be plummeted into fuel poverty this winter. There's a lot that could have been done. This is definitely not a Corbyn budget, but
do you think?
But I get the PR around it though.
Absolutely nothing in the budget for LGBT giraffe rights.
150 billion. I mean, it's amounts. I mean, the Labour Party hasn't dreamt of spending that much for years.
Well, some of us have.
They've slashed the price of Prosecco and short-haul flights.
Yeah, I mean,
Again
that's
shows
crazy.
that Rishi's in the pocket of the big Hindu company. He's going to be cutting the duty on those little penis straws next, before you know.
He's given up on austerity. They tried that for 10 years. It didn't go so well. So we've dumped austerity and we've gone for optimism.
Oh, yeah.
That helps.
Which is less concrete and scientific, but it plays better.
Yeah, it
So if you
sounds
say to
better.
people...
When you say
it'll
it's
be
less
fine.
concrete, do you mean there's no opportunity for growth?
What happened when Rishi Sunak got up to make his speech and then somebody had a word?
Speaker, Madam Deputy Speaker, because
Apologise.
they'd already leaked the majority of the budget beforehand, and parliamentary protocol and the ministerial code, which is constantly being broken, means that they're supposed to come to Parliament first, and they don't. And so
Well, there are other codes that are broken, aren't there?
there are
Dawn?
loads of codes that are broken.
What, calling people liars?
Well, yeah, but Boris Johnson is a liar. I mean, it's not as if I made that up. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's enough evidence out there.
You do the research, Ian.
Yeah, there's enough reading.
No, I'm interested in the criticism of breaking the code that matters with Rishi Sunak, but not with you.
I didn't break the ministerial code because I'm not a
break the
minister.
MP's code.
He's a minister, and he stands up and he breaks the code. You know, they get caught with their pants down. They get away with it. Oh, it's a private matter. You know, they bully civil servants. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a private matter. We'll just pay them off. At any other time, the Prime Minister would fall on their sword.
What, like when the Mandelson affair happened in your government's time?
I'm not
Did
saying,
everyone
look,
fall on their swords? I don't think they did they?
Oh, tell me one minister that has resigned in Johnson's government. Hancock breaking COVID rules to be snogging and whatnot. Was it to the moon, in between the...
Moon and New York City.
The moon and New York City.
I know it's crazy, but it's true.
You know?
It's the best that you can do, isn't it, really? I mean, eventually...
He did resign, though, didn't he?
It was forced to. He
Oh, I see.
he
So
should have
no. One
he
minister
should have
who's
been
resigned.
sacked. He should have been sacked, not resigned.
He didn't resign.
Right.
He was resigned, wasn't he?
And he was.
He couldn't be trusted to resign on his own in case he resigned something else by accident, like the Isle of Wight or France.
Exactly. And then they tried to bloody recycle him by giving him to Africa, and Africa's like, no, you can have your rubbish.
Tell me a thing in the budget that's going down.
OK.
I've not taken any notice of it.
OK. Do you want to have a go with Snap instead?
Wine. Red wine has gone up.
Right.
Because they're making beer cheaper and they want to make us drink more British wine. And the problem with that is that, you know, as a wine drinker, you like wine because of the kind of sophistication on the label, you know, Loire Valley, mountains of Argentina. It's not the same if you're sharing a bottle of 76 Skegness.
No, I think that's not fair. There's a lot of very good British wine these days.
Yeah.
Excellent
Yeah,
British
there
wine.
are, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it back. 76 was a great year.
Here's a picture of Rishi delivering the budget. Do you want to see some more pictures of Rishi Sunak?
Yes, please.
I would, yeah.
All right, then. Here's a picture of Rishi in sliders. They're worn with socks, apparently. And
when you first said the sentence, I thought you were talking about some sort of nightclub somewhere. So what are they? They're sort of shoe socks?
They're a sort of... It's basically a posh flip-flop. They cost 95 quid, these.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Rishi and Simon Clarke.
Oh. Oh, dear.
Who was a lot taller. That's one of the books on the top shelf that he couldn't... And here is Rishi doing some glove puppetry. Never thought I'd say that.
Oh, yeah. He's explaining the budget to the PM, isn't he?
Now, Keir Starmer couldn't respond to the Chancellor's statement. Why was that?
COVID.
It's the 5th time he's had to go into isolation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough, right? You know, he can't be seen in public. No one can talk to him. He can't give his views on anything. And on top of that, he's got COVID. But you wouldn't speak to him, would you, Dawn? Would you? Would you speak to him? I mean, you're a bit of a Corbyn fan, aren't you?
Of course I would speak to Keir. Keir's the leader of the Labour Party. I'm a Labour MP.
I just read this on I read this in some research I was looking at earlier on.
Keir only thinks 80% of giraffes are good.
Keir's all right.
Yeah.
There's a ringing endorsement.
It's all right. Come on. So, who took Prime Minister's Question Time for Labour in Keir Starmer's place?
Ed Miliband, is it?
Ed Miliband,
Yeah.
yes. Oh.
He only sounds like he's got COVID.
Oh, Ed Miliband, he ruined everything. So, anyway... no, I mean, do you think if his brother had taken over, that would have been fine?
Well, first of all, I think Ed did a really good job.
Yeah.
I think he did a really good job at PMQs. I think he held the Prime Minister to account. He was kind of squirming and, you know...
To be fair, though, he does squirm and bluff when people say, what kind of coffee do you want? You know, like...
The one time that I attended the Prime Minister's Question Time was a few years ago now, and I'd been invited along there, and I was... Cameron was the Prime Minister at that point, and about 5 minutes before they started, suddenly there was this buzz went round the auditorium, and I could see people whispering to each other, and the guy I was with said, what's going on? And he went to find out, and he came back, he said John Sargent has left Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh, it's amazing how those programmes take over, isn't it? Also in the news this week, the government, after much ridicule, has performed a U-turn on water firms dumping raw sewage into the sea. Good Lord.
A U-bend, in fact.
A U-bend, yes. And why? Why were people so upset about the government voting down the Environment Bill?
There were 400,000 incidents of water companies dumping raw sewage last year. And the reason they did it was cheaper to pay the fine.
You pay for it to be dealt with is more expensive than paying the fine, which is ludicrous.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about levelling up, isn't it? You want to spread the shit around the country. Too much faeces in the southeast. People in the north haven't had shit for years.
No. People are jealous. Southeastern Water, they're the worst. There's just shit.
Actually, no, you're right, actually. It's Southern Water was fined a record £90 million for deliberately dumping billions of litres of raw sewage into protected seas over several years for its own financial gain. A very important player has come into this whole story, Pam Ayres. How did she get involved? I mean, it's not it's no brainer, really.
She wrote a poem.
She wrote a poem?
Yeah.
Would you like to hear what the poem is?
Go on
Yes,
then.
please.
This is a poem that Pam Ayres wrote. It's called Shit Creek River. Here it goes. Farewell, sparkling brooklet, the salmon in the pool. Good morning, panty liner, the tampon and the stool.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Still got it, Pam. This is Rishi Sunak's budget statement to the House of Commons. While preparing his budget, Rishi Sunak was seen wearing sliders. If you don't know what they are, sliders are a kind of footwear, unless you're Matt Hancock, in which case they're your trousers. Just before he tested positive for COVID, Starmer was practising his budget response in front of his staff. As a result, we now know that the virus can be transmitted by a yawn. So, at the end of that round, it's 2 points each.
Hey!
On to round 2, and backed by popular demand from Series 33, Episode 4, it's Name That News.
Hey!
Here's your first clue.
Hey, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Oh, yeah.
What's the matter?
Yes. Shut up, your face.
Oh, shut up, your face.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Very well done.
So do we have to get the story now?
I don't know. I've no idea. Do you know? I've no idea.
Do you need me to play it again, or are you ready?
No. That's enough.
Is there a clue?
There's a clue. The clue is literally in the name.
Shut up, your face.
Shut up.
Shut up, your face.
Your
Facebook.
face.
Yes.
Oh,
Shut up, your Facebook.
Yeah, no wonder we haven't done this for 30 years.
is it the whistleblowers?
Yes.
Facebook.
That's right. This. Oh, hang on. This is. I can't do that with. I can't even lean on it. Oh, for fuck's sake.
This clip is going to be appearing in the Channel 5 documentary called When Quiz Shows Go Horribly Wrong.
What is whistleblower Francis Haugen accusing the company of?
Facebook promotes hate speech to those who are interested in hate speech. It points them towards sites which are misogynistic,
Right-wing.
homophobic, etc.
That's right, exactly. It takes people who have mainstream interests and it pushes them to extreme content.
Yeah.
So exactly right. So you could start off looking at Little Mix or something. The next minute you're looking at Slipknot. You know, that's the sort of way it works.
But there's another whistleblower appeared as well, who said that basically they put profit before any sense of morality, and Facebook were told to clean up these sites that attracted children, and the executives wandered around saying, oh, don't do that, that doesn't make us any money. Essentially, Facebook is what everyone assumed it was doing anyway, which is basically amplifying toxic drivel.
Internal papers revealed that the Washington Post said that the site would rank reactions given to posts, and here are the 6 of them. There you are. That means like, love, haha, wow, sad and angry.
Yeah,
And
that stormed the Capitol, that last one.
Yeah. It's like a relationship in 5 emojis. Like, oh, love, haha, wow, sad, angry, the end. There's 5 points are given to the angry emoji and 1 to the like. So posts that had more angry reactions would appear higher up the newsfeed, as you say, amplifying this unpleasantness. Francis Haugen claimed that the site helped fuel the riots at Capitol Hill in January, and they switched off safety systems that it had implemented during the election. So that's what amplified that whole thing. So all those angry emojis were being pushed.
And it meant huge amounts of posts and information research could just be sent from bots in Russia to Middle America.
Do you reckon that's where you got your giraffe thing?
I'm telling you, it's a scientific fact. Look it up. But clickbait is exactly how they make their money. They don't care about the content. They don't care about how it affects people. There was information about self-harming. They don't care, how it affects young people, just as long as they make money. And that's why we need a proper online harms bill to make these companies responsible and to make them pay, not a piddly amount of money that doesn't mean anything to them. Something that's going to hit them hard in their pocket.
Tax.
What do you think, Ian? Will they be regulated in the end?
At every point, whenever there's a new technology, whether it was a steam press at the turn of the previous century or it's the internet now, at some point they have to admit they are culpable and they are responsible, and then they have to be regulated. The monopoly should be broken up, and Damien Collins and various people are actually trying to make them admit you're not a platform, you're a publisher. You're putting this stuff on and you've got to be responsible for it.
What was the problem with the steam press? Is that causing a lot of suicides, a lot of mobs?
Early newspapers, it meant you could get 1 million newspapers.
Oh, I thought you meant like a trouser thing.
No.
I see now.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
And aside from making us all hate each other, Facebook, they've been working on building the metaverse. I know it's difficult to explain, but there is a sort of an agreed definition, which is VR on acid.
I mean, so you don't live in the real world anymore.
Right.
You just live inside a screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit like us.
Lots of people do.
Yeah. We're trapped in the metaverse. I tell you what, do you want to have a look at what the metaverse looks like?
Yes, please.
Yes, go on.
All right, go
Are
on
we going to
then.
be in it, or are we just going to be...
Well, we're just going to have a look at it at the moment.
Yeah, go on in.
I think this is what it looks like.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. All right, perfect. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Mark.
What's up, Mark?
Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from a crater I met in LA.
This place is amazing.
Boz, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to be the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
Whoa.
I knew you were bluffing.
Hey, wait. Where is Naomi?
Let's call her.
Naomi.
Hey, should we deal you in?
Hey. Sorry, I'm running late, but you've got to see what we're checking out. There's an artist going around Soho hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
What he invented there is The Sims.
Yeah.
It's not the metaverse, that's a PC game from 2003.
And what he's demonstrating is there's this brilliant idea of having friends and you play cards with them.
Yeah, but one of them's one of the creatures that used to advertise instant mashed potato on the telly.
And it is tragic. That Zuckerberg's vision of the future is someone might like him. It's not going to happen. I like the way when Zuckerberg sees a version of himself, he goes, perfect. I mean, it is narcissism, isn't it? The whole Facebook is based on him rating girls at college.
Yeah.
Who's like or don't like. And then we go, I wonder how that turned into something that's a bit misogynistic. Dunno, Mark. I can't imagine how that trajectory panned out.
No. In other news, why has this dinosaur statue in Portsmouth been upsetting locals?
It comes up live at night and eats children.
A bunch of giraffes are trying to mount it.
What you're saying, it's too sexy. It's too sexy for Portsmouth.
It's made of concrete and it's growing?
No. It's a size issue, right? It's too small. This is the original statue. Now, that burnt down, right? I don't know how. And then £35,000 replacement, 11 years later, is this.
Can I just check on the size of that dog before I criticise?
This is the news that Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen has been revealing the company secrets to Parliament's Joint Committee. Facebook have been accused of putting profit over harm to society after they made £8 billion profit in the last quarter. Obviously, that's after tax. It was originally £8,006,006. In other high-tech news, 3 of Britain's intelligence agencies have struck a deal with Amazon to store classified documents. The producers are already factoring this into the next Bond film. The dossier should be waiting for you at home, 007. If it's not with the neighbours, try looking behind the bins.
I tell you what, who wants some showbiz gossip?
Go on.
I've got it. There's a lot of speculation about who's going to be the next James Bond, and according to my source, this week they definitively ruled out Alec Baldwin.
Wow. finally, in this round...
oh, bloody hell, we're still playing this, aren't we?
Yeah, we're still playing
Oh.
Right, what is this song?
I'm a dancer.
Oh.
God, yeah,
Go on.
I don't know it. I'm a dancer.
I'm a...
It's an instrumental.
Yeah, you know it.
Oh, I know this. It's Beethoven.
Yes.
Is it Sunday night in the old people's home?
No.
Don't knock it. It's a good circuit to play.
Yeah.
Rhythm dancer.
Rhythm is a dancer. Yay! There you go. That's right.
There, got it.
Yeah, rhythm is a... Thank you.
Yeah, this is the exciting news that Indri lemurs have a sense of rhythm. Now...
Oh, God, I know the research paper this came from.
So the element of the quiz has disappeared. You play a tune and then tell us the answer.
It's a meta quiz.
Keep going. Keep going.
All right. How have they made this discovery?
Studying lemurs.
They were a civil partnership between two giraffes. Page boys were lemurs.
Wasn't ring-tailed lemurs, no. Come on, you must remember this. By analysing the songs of 39 Indri lemurs living in the rainforests of Madagascar, they revealed their calls have a rhythm which is similar to human music.
Ah.
The creatures often strike up a song with family members in duets or choruses, featuring sounds that vary from roars to wails. What is the lemur's preferred rhythm?
3/4.
They're like a waltz.
They're romantic creatures, lemurs.
No, actually, Paul was closest.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
What, 7/8?
No, that wasn't 7/8. That'd be jazz. That'd be madness.
Come on.
Oh,
No.
God, jazz. Oh, God. How stupid of me. Lemurs and jazz. What an idiot.
Yeah. No, the lemur likes a one-to-one rhythm, basically.
Of course it does.
Really?
You know, it repeats one segment and then it repeats it again. So it's like... Do you want to have a listen?
Yeah.
Here's some lemurs.
Go on, him. I know how they feel.
Which means, at the end of this round, it's Ian and Finn with 3, Paul and Dawn also with 3. OK, it's time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. Your 4 are French Vogue, the name Nigel, Boris and Boris, and Hanforth Parish Council.
Is it that French Vogue is closed, the name Nigel's dying out,
Yeah.
Hanforth Parish Council closed down?
She's moving. Is she live? Is she the odd one out? She's the only one that's live now.
Are you on Zoom, Jackie Weaver?
Am I anywhere other than on Zoom?
What was the question?
So she's the odd one out because she's the only one that's live, as opposed to the other ones.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not that. Jackie's not the odd one out.
Oh, she's not?
No. OK, I'm going to tell you the answer. They're all changing the name except for the name Nigel, which isn't being used anymore. No more Nigels. I tell you what, no, the Hanforth Parish Council, of which Jackie is obviously our famous member, they shot to fame earlier this year as a result of a chaotic Zoom meeting. Let's remind ourselves of what happened.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
Just wait. No, she's kicked him out. Don't. She's kicked him out. Don't.
This is a meeting called by 2 councillors.
Illegally?
They now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
What's happened to him, Jackie?
I think he's allowed to use an iPad on its own now.
So, Jackie, in order to distance themselves from that debacle, the Hanforth Parish Council decided to change their name. What's it called now?
Hanforth Town Council.
Okay, well,
that's brilliant. We'd never have guessed.
Thank you very much, Jackie Weaver. Now, the Office for National Statistics has revealed that the name Nigel is on the decline. What would parents rather call their babies than Nigel?
Anything.
Anything.
More babies were called Lucifer last year.
Oh, wow.
Than were called Nigel. What is the fashion magazine Vogue Paris changing its name to?
Is it Private Eye? We're changing our name to Vogue. First cover model, Jackie Weaver.
Yeah.
She's still there! She's still... Jackie, do you not know how to end the Zoom call?
I'm just looking for Ian's address now.
I'll send it.
Are we in the metaverse now?
No. So there's two Russian politicians there, Boris Vishnevsky and Boris Vishnevsky, and they're not quite what they seem. Neither of them are the real Boris Vishnevsky. They both changed their names to confuse voters who may have supported the real Russian liberal politician, Boris Vishnevsky. In other news, a fish and chip shop in Greenwich got into trouble recently over its name. Can anyone think of a mildly offensive name for a fish and chip shop?
Fish and shit.
Chip or fix it?
It's named after a terrible murderer.
Hitler's Fish Bar. Jack the Chipper.
Jack the Chipper! It is Jack the Chipper. Well done. Here's the chip shop owner himself, Recep Turhan. He got into a lot of trouble. The locals didn't like it. They decided to boycott the shop, claiming it glorifies the serial killer. And they also suggested the business hates women. So how has he tried to prove that he isn't supporting a murderer?
Did he do ladies' night? On Tuesday.
Yes, he did ladies' night. They had a half-price day for women. Yeah, they've all changed the name, except for the name Nigel, which isn't being used anymore. The royal family often influence trends in names. Archie is now number 9 on the list of most popular boys' names after Harry and Meghan used the name for their son. And Andrew has also made the list, but sadly it's the FBI's most wanted. Fish and chip shop Jack the Chipper has refused to change its name. The owner said it would be the last thing on his mind to capitalise on disturbing crimes whilst biting into his customer favourite, Jimmy Savaloy. So, the final scores are Ian and Finn have 3, Paul and Dawn have 4. Woo! On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Finn Taylor, Paul Merton and Dawn Butler. And I leave you with the news that Angela Merkel admits she might have overdone it a bit at her leaving drinks. After severely criticising their carbon emissions policy, the government admit it was a mistake to let the Australians design the COP26 meditation garden. And in London, an Insulate Britain protester glues himself to an ancient monument. Good night.